All right, so last week when we came in here to do this radio show, I was so excited. I don't know about you guys, but I was so excited for the Mariners. They had just won 8 straight games. They were just a game and a half out of the wild card position. They had a huge 6-game homestand this past week. They played the Houston Astros. They went a disappointing 1-2 in that series. They lost the series. They salvaged Sunday's game, however. What worked and what didn't work for the team against the Astros? Kellen, what happened Friday night?
Well, Quinn Felix pitched about 4 innings, giving up 9 hits.
Jeez. Wow.
I did say Quinn Felix. I didn't stutter. 9 hits, 6 runs, including 2 home runs. What's frustrating, guys, is when the best player on your team plays extremely poor, that is so frustrating as a coach. You expect great players to play great or good. Again, everyone has off days. But when your average players play great, that's also extremely exciting. But when your leader, when your veteran, when the guy that you want to lean on when you're in a pickle, and he gives up 6 runs and 9 hits, that is a very, very tough deal. And in my opinion, it kind of set the tone for the whole series.
Yeah, it's very fair to say. I think that it was a tone setter. You know, they went with the $8 tickets for the weekend, and there was so much excitement. And then to come out and perform like that as your leader, as your stud pitcher, it's incredibly disappointing. It's a gut punch to the team who was on such a momentous roll. Lacey, what happened on Saturday?
All right, so on Saturday, the team could not manage to score more than 1 run. The M's lost 2-1 against the Astros. Even though the team managed to out-hit the Astros 7-5, the M's were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position, and that's going to be tough to win ball games if you can't drive in those runs.
You got to take advantage when your runners get into the position to score. You got to be able to drive them in. Drew, did you check out Sunday's game? Did you kind of see it between the NFL? What was going on?
I watched more NFL than I did MLB.
Mm-hmm.
I did click in between, though. I wanted to make sure for you, Christian,
kind.
that I watched the Mariners.
So kind.
And I dug the old man, Seth Smith.
Attaboy.
All 33 years old of him. Is he like the dad of that Mariners roster?
That's what they call him in the clubhouse.
No,
He's
they
known
don't.
as Dad.
Stop.
Yes, they
really?
Yeah, they do. They call him Dad.
They call him Dad.
I've called him Uncle before because I feel like everyone has an uncle that looks like Seth Smith. So I mean, yeah.
Well, here.
So what did he do on Sunday?
Like I said, didn't watch the game on Sunday. However, he's hitting 333. He's hitting 238 in the last game. He's got on base percentage almost around 4. Slugging in the last 7 games, 714. I mean, good Lord. Got 3 bombs, 5 in the last 15 games. He got 3 bombs in the last 7 games, 5 bombs in the last 15. I mean, guy's killing it. Go Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, he had 2 home runs on Sunday. Really put the team. He drove in runs and he helped the team win on that day. I think they won 7-3. All right. So even after losing the series against the Astros, the M's were only 2 games back of the second wild card holder when they paid a visit to Safeco Field, and that was the Blue Jays. There's a very interesting vibe in Safeco Field for the last 3 days. Lacey, what can you tell us about the first game of that series?
Yeah, Canada really took over Safeco Field. All 3 days, the stadium sounded like a home game for the Blue Jays, which is sad. I mean, where are the Seattle fans at? On Monday, Blue Jays pitcher Marco Estrada was the story of the game. Estrada went 7 innings, allowing just 1 hit while striking out 8 and allowing 3 walks. The Jays won 3-2. Leonis Martin hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 9th, but this game was all Blue Jays.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. It's weird though. Like, you can't blame Seattle fans for what took place over the weekend. It's like a U.S. national game of any sort, basketball, soccer, that's your team, that's your nation's team. You cheer for them whenever you get the chance. You watch them on TV, all that stuff. That's kind of what happened. I mean, Canada's only 3 hours away. That's an easy vacation planning. If you're a baseball fan and your nation has one team, like Canada does, it's easy to come down.
Used to be the Montreal Expos.
No.
I'm saying that they used to have a team called Montreal Expos.
Yeah,
not
okay,
that
I
the
got
Blue
you.
Jays were.
I got you.
Yeah.
A. Canada
A.
A. Tuesday night was rough. I mean, Iwakuma, is that correct? I know you guys just roasted me for my pronunciation of him last time.
Yeah, the last name's easier than the first.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Iwakuma. You got the L. ERA went up more than a few points, and by more than a few, I mean like a whole 1.5 points. Toronto, 14 hits, 10 runs. You thought you were going to be able to dodge the Josh Donaldson bullet with his injury, and he comes back and pops a home run. It was a rough night.
It was tough to watch. I think the top of the fourth inning lasted about 45 minutes, where the Blue Jays just piled on the offense.
Didn't the Blue Jays hit 4 homers that game?
They crushed the ball, which is what they do. That's what they're
homers?
built to do. So it was interesting.
I was at Red Robin. It was 2-0. Went to the bathroom, got some more fries. 8-2 when I looked up again. Unreal.
Yeah,
Kellen,
it was tough.
Can you give us before we let Christian get on his soapbox about the Mariners here? Can you give us the good old Mariners analogy, the good old Mariners ex-girlfriend analogy? Why are the Mariners like an ex-girlfriend?
Folks, the Mariners are like your ex-girlfriend. She'll text you every once in a while. She'll poke you on Facebook. She'll get your hopes up. But at the end of the day, you just can't trust her.
They
but
killed 10 runs.
But last night was awesome. So I was tough on Felix earlier, but he proved again why he's the king of baseball. LeBron James, he's the king of basketball. Felix is the king of baseball. He's not the queen anymore. He pitched 7 innings, only gave up 2 hits. He earned his crown back. They won the game 2-1. And again, if I'm Felix, at times I would be very, very upset with what team I'm on. Because 2-1, like, I mean, there's not a lot of confidence in the bats if I'm Felix. It's like, you look at his winning, every single game that he's won in his career, it's been by like 1 run. It's not like 8-4. It's not 8-1. It's always 2-1. It's just crazy.
Felix knows by now that he cannot give up any more than 1 run if he wants a W. He knows that by now. Christian?
Well, the thing, the offense, the Mariners' offense this year has been much improved from what it was, last year, the year before that. They're up near the top 5 in home runs in the league. I mean, they score, but it seems to happen when Hisashi Wakuma's on the mound or when somebody else is on the mound. When Felix is on the mound, historically, the Mariners haven't been able to score runs, and every year every team is different, but it's kind of it's tough. It's tough to be Felix Hernandez, which is kind of what you guys are saying. And
that could almost be a tough deal of the week.
Yeah,
it's tough to be Felix.
But could you 7 innings, 2 hits?
That's unreal.
Can you imagine? My angle is: can you imagine if that happens on Friday night?
Oh.
And you go on a 9 that takes the win streak to 9.
Because in my opinion, if I'm Cano, I'm obviously a great player, but it's like guys on the Mariners are gonna flock to the greatest players on the team, which is Felix. So when Felix is playing great, that gives the confidence in the other guys. When Felix played horrible a couple nights ago, that just again started the whole segment of like, you know what? Gosh, we don't really have a lot of confidence on the team. Now Felix plays great last night. The Mariners play a little bit better. So I think it all starts with your best player and your leader.
Exactly. And yesterday the big three, Cano, Cruz, Seager, they were like 0 for 12. Yeah. I mean, they struggled on the homestand, and they need to play better. Moving forward, there are 11 games left in the season. Now, the crazy part about this is the Mariners went 2-4 on that homestand. All right, so for the last 11 games of the season, everyone needs to be paying attention to these wild card standings. Toronto went from holding the second wild card by a game. Now they're up. They're the first wild card by a game with what they did against the Mariners. The Red Sox swept the Baltimore Orioles, right? So now they're the visiting team in that wild card game. If the season ends right now, they're the visiting team in this wild card game.
Then it's Detroit.
Okay?
Right?
Detroit didn't gain any ground. They've been 1 game back since we talked last week. Okay, Houston gained ground. They're back to being a game back of that second wild card spot, right? The Mariners, even though they went, 2-4 on that series?
I picked them to go 4-2. You said 3-3.
They are
you said 6-0.
They are still only 2 games out of that second wild card spot.
And this is after Christian sentenced them to death.
I did, and I'm not the only one. But what I'm saying is, they struggled this whole homestand. It was kind of disappointing to watch them go 2-4. But they're still only 2 games back. The AL East plays each other a lot in these last 11 games. It's fun to be on the West Coast for this because you get to see that those games are over. You get to see who lost already by the time your game starts. So that's exciting. They're still in it, is what I'm getting at. They're still very much in it.
Time out. Can we say that one more time again? They are still in it.
They are still in it.
They are not dead as they were 2 weeks ago. Don't stick a fork in them. Take it out back like a horse and shoot them.
The best part about it is they start a 3-game series this weekend against Minnesota, who is, by record, the worst team in baseball right now. So they need to sweep the Twins. They have to do it, and they have Houston, so they can gain ground on Houston one more time. Right? They have a series at Houston, and then they come home for the last 4 games against Oakland, who is 66-86.
Yeah, but it's Oakland.
Soft. It's a soft end of the season with other teams playing against each other. You really never know what could happen. They could sneak in and be the visiting team in that wild card game, that 1-game playoff.
This is bad for radio, but is that a King Dome shirt?
Yeah.
I love that. That shows a true Mariners fan there.
In loving memory.
Yeah, my shirt says "In loving memory of the King Dome."
I wish we were on Periscope, folks,
1976
so
to
you could see
2000.
The King Dome shirt, some great games played there by the Mariners.
All right, let's take a break.
Randy Johnson's.
Yeah, let's get out of here.